it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me doing a book haul. I don't know how long I have accumulated these books, but judging by the books and judging by the content in which I have read these books, so some of them I've read for vlogs, I can only assume that it was about roughly springtime as to when I started accumulating these books. I have controlled myself, so it's not a crazy amount. It's only like almost 30 books. I didn't even include the e-arcs. We'll only do the physical copies. We'll only do the physical copies because I am afraid of the result if I added all of the e-arcs that I have also obtained throughout this time period. So let's just get into it. So as y'all know, since there's over a bunch of 30 books, I'll give bare bones, the bones of barest as to what these books are about, because I have places to be actually like in 30 minutes. So starting off with the first book, that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This is an adult thriller. This is Colleen Hoover's only thriller book, and I've heard really good things about it. I will be reading it for the month of October for Trick or Treat-a-thon. I will be leaving the announcement to that down below. I'll also be leaving all of the books down below for this and any videos that I have read for them. So check the description. The next one is Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me by Mariko Tamaki and Rosemary Valero O'Connell, who did the illustrations. This is a YA graphic novel following a young queer couple where Laura Dean is a very toxic couple. I already read this book. I believe I will, if I have a written review for it, I will leave it linked down below, but if not, then I will leave, I'll leave the book links down below so y'all can read the other reviews. The next one is We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faizal. This is a YA high fantasy and a thrilling conclusion to the duology that is Sands of Arawiya. Based off of Arabic myth, we get a lot of like competitions and magic and heartbreak and pain and sorrow. I highly recommend the duology. It's great. It's written beautifully, wonderfully. One of my favorite duologies today. I probably need to do a reread because I just need to soak everything up. The next one is Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I believe this is considered an adult high fantasy or a new adult high fantasy following a competition with the smartest witches of the generation to join the Alexandrian Society, this hidden society that knows everything and everyone and all the things and everything. The next one is Delilah Green Doesn't Care, and that is by Ashley Herring Blake. This is Ashley Herring Blake's dive into contemporary romance. It's queer, it's amazing, it's one of my favorites of the year. I highly recommend it. It's about a Delilah Green who goes into, who works for her stepsister's wedding and falls in love with one of her stepsister's best friends. Some forbidden romance, some trauma in there that they're gonna work through. It's a good time. I recommend it. It's really fun, and I cannot wait for the release of Ashford Parker Does Not Fall, because it's gonna be just as good. Oh yeah, no, this is at least before March, because All My Rage is the next book by Saba Tahir, and I bought that one in March. This is a YA contemporary following three perspectives, Misbah, Sal, and Noor, as they kind of traverse through their different things. Dual timeline too. We follow Misbah in the past, and then Sal and Noor in the present. It discusses like family dynamics, very difficult family dynamics, and also just a very heartbreaking and good novel. I think Saba Tahir blew it out of the park to write a contemporary. It's just so good. I highly recommend it. It's probably one of my favorites of the year. It'll definitely make it on that list. Like, it's at least top 3. The next one is A Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir and A Sky Beyond the Storm by Saba Tahir. This is the thrilling conclusion to the Ember and the Ashes quartet. I read the two books within like a week of each other. Best decision I've ever made. I never cried so hard. These two books will also be somewhere in my top 10. This follows, I believe it's Arabic-inspired mythology, following two POVs in the first book, and that is Elias a soldier and Laia a rebel. So you guys will get to see how that plays out. There's some forbidden romance, there's lots of death and depression and sadness and angst, but I really enjoyed it. It's a fun series to read, and like honestly a very bingeable series. I cannot wait to probably reread the entire series in one night. Not possible, but one can try. The next one is Graceling by Kristen Cashore. I have no idea what this is about. I know it's YA high fantasy. It's a little bit on the older side of YA fantasy, not like audience-wise, but timeline-wise. I think this came out in 2010. It's just getting a cover rebrand, and I think 2 additional books will be added into the series. Lisa from With Love Lisa loves this book. She enjoys the series, so I am excited to pick it up. I probably will sometime like in the November months, just to see how things go. And yeah, I don't know a ton about it. I just know that it kind of saw a resurgence and everyone seemed super interested in it. The next one is A Course of Love by Alain de Botton. This is an adult, I guess, contemporary literary fiction romance following this young couple as they fall in love, get married, have kids, experience infidelity. I read this for a vlog. It was for Harry Styles' like recommended books vlog. I enjoyed it. It was fine. I will leave my vlog link down below for y'all so you can get in the like mood of what I was thinking. It was a fine book. I enjoyed it. Harry's definitely a very pretentious reader. So yeah. The next one is My Policeman by Bethan Roberts. This is another one of those books that I read for Harry Styles' vlog. Again, linked down below. This is an adult historical fantasy following a couple who got married, is in love, and then a man comes into the life and kind of shakes up the foundation of this marriage and the concept of love and everything. There is a queer relationship in this. I did enjoy it. It was okay. I think I need to give it a reread because like some of the reviews of the movie that's coming out, like I believe Emma Chamberlain gave it like really high remarks about like what it means to be like in love and all that stuff, and I'm reading it and I'm like, I don't think we read the same book. So it's very possible it's not even in the same like vicinity of the book. It could just be an imagined or like inspired by the novel, but we'll see. I was hoping it would end one way and it ended up completely different, and it was time, but it was okay. Again, review link down below. The next one is Sounds Like Adios by Alexis Daria. I'm actually currently reading this book. It's an adult romance following two childhood best friends who grew apart due to circumstances and now are brought back together because of a project that they have to work on. I love second chance romance. I love childhood best friends. This has been a fun book to read. I cannot wait to review it in a couple weeks. So if you're gonna wait for that, you know where it's gonna pop up. It's gonna be the next wrap up that I do. The next one is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thous. Is a YA, I guess, fabulism novel following a young girl who loses her boyfriend in a car accident, and now when she calls his number to see if he'll pick up and like, you know, hear his voice one last time in a voice message or something, and he actually picks up. It was an okay book. I enjoyed it. It was nice. There were some bits that I was like, oh, and some bits that were like, oh, and other times I just wanted to smack the characters because I was like, oh. But I really did enjoy it. I will read more of Dustin Thous books. I think this is a very good debut. Wow. A really good debut novel. There were some things I think could have worked out a little better, but that's because my brain just doesn't work with that. Also have left the link to that vlog down below so y'all can go ahead and read that. Read it. Watch that. I am very emotionally drained. Well, not emotionally drained. It's just been a long week. And I'm cheering myself up with some Coke, so I am tired and caffeinated. And it's not a good mix. The next one is The Silence That Binds Us by Joanna Ho. This is another favorite book of mine. It's a YA contemporary following a young girl as she tries to grapple with the reality of her brother committing suicide. Read that in a vlog as well. Link down below. Probably another one of my favorites of the year, honestly. This book hit it out of the park. It discusses very difficult topics such as like, you know, suicide, loss of a family member, as well as like anti-racism and the concept of like how POC can be more allies to each other and how oftentimes we're not very good allies to ourselves at all. So I highly recommend it. It's very good. I think it's a nice like beginning introduction to like anti-racism. Well, it's not a nice introduction because the only reason it got brought up because of the suicide, but it's I think it's a good thing to bring up in classrooms and discuss. The next one is The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. This is an adult romance following a Major League Baseball player who is now getting served a divorce because of he found out that he couldn't get his wife to finish in bed. So his other Major League friends and his other like sports friends ask him to join their book club where they read romance novels to better understand the woman's psyche and help them finish and, you know, help be better lovers. It's actually a very nice, fun rom-com. I really enjoyed it and I can't wait to see what happens with the rest of the series, but I really like this first one. I found myself laughing and giggling and like I didn't tear up, but I did laugh a lot. It's a very fun book, honestly. The next book is Luck at the Titanic by Stacey. This is a YA historical fiction following one of the it's a historical fiction, so it's not exactly the person who was on the Titanic, but following one of the 6 Chinese members who were on the Titanic that day. She like sneaks on board to try and convince her brother to come with her and join the circus with her and do everything that they want, and her brother's like, nah, I'm comfortable here. And then the Titanic happens, because there's no avoiding the Titanic when the book is set, the Titanic. So another book that I read for a vlog. If y'all want to see my thoughts, it's down there. It's down there. The next one is Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This is an adult high fantasy novel. I don't know a ton about it. I do have plans to read it, as it was on my, I believe, like adult fantasy books for beginners, or my Time to Move On from Harry Potter video. I forget which one. I'll throw it up on the screen here, and it'll be linked down below for y'all to see what books I recommend / books I need to read myself. So it's on one of those lists. So it seems very interesting. I believe the author is East Asian, so I'm excited to see how she wrote this story to involve some of the elements of her own culture, if that is. It seems like it does involve her own culture. I could be very wrong and just speaking out of my ass, but it just seems like it, so we'll find out when I read it for a vlog. The next one is The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. This is an adult romance set in kind of like a Bachelor-esque situation, romantic reality dating, except the main character starts to fall in love with one of his producers. I'm excited to see where it goes. It should be very interesting. The next one is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is an adult or new adult romance. It's queer. I think there's a fake marriage in there. There's like Vegas, waking up after Vegas situation, I think. It seems very interesting. I've heard really good things about it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I need to pick it up soonish though, so I think it might just be like a Christmas thing that I pick it up for, because I want to be all cuddled up and romance and loved up during the holidays. I say as if I'm not in a committed relationship. The next one is Supernova by Marissa Myers. This is the thrilling conclusion to the Renegades trilogy. Superheroes battling supervillains, set in a modern time, and everything is like new. You're not going to see villains or like superheroes that you know from like Marvel or DC. They're all made up from that, and I really enjoyed it. Probably, again, a favorite series of mine, a favorite ending of mine. Probably will be on my top 10. The next one is Vampire Academy by Rachel Adams, right? Rochelle Mead. By Rochelle Mead. This is a YA paranormal fantasy following vampires in an academy. It's boarding school. It's vampiric. It's paranormal. It's right up Teresa's alley, but she didn't read it. Why? I don't know. You know? I wish I could tell you. It's like everyone recommended it to me when I was younger, and I was like, no, it's not Twilight or Night World. No. And then, much like Shadowhunters, which was also recommended to me by people who were like, yeah, if you like Twilight, I think you'll like this, I probably will love it. The next book is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is the conclusion to The Cruel Prince. It's YA high fantasy. We get to see Faye. We get to see Jude and Carden work on their shit. We get to see heartbreak. I read it already for a vlog. Link down below for y'all. It's great. I love it. I recommend the series. The next one is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This is the first, and I think a trilogy of anthology series, I believe, and that is by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is translated works about a coffee shop that lets you turn back time and travel to anywhere you wanted, but you have to be back to your normal time before the coffee gets cold. My friend read this, highly recommended it. I will be picking up. I know I'm gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love it. I just know. So I probably will also be buying, so keep on the lookout in the next haul, because I probably will also have the second and third book, because I love the first book that much. So the next one is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is an adult romance. I believe the first book I don't know a ton about it. I know it's the Brown sisters. I know there's bisexual representation, I believe, in this one. I also know that, excuse me, I also know that everyone and their mother loves this book. Loves the series, absolutely adores it. So I am, again, biting the bullet as if it's a hesitant thing for me to do. I'm just very forgetful when I have books I want to read. I go into the bookstore and I'm like, ooh, shiny new cover. So, but I am going to read this book. I'm going to enjoy it like everyone else, and I'm going to read the rest of the series. Unless I'm going to be one of the very rare people that I've seen that actually despise the series. Should be very sad. So, we'll find out. Second to last one is The Flames of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee. This is the ending to the duology of the Kyoshi duology. Duh. This follows Kyoshi as she kind of becomes the Avatar, and this is the last book where she kind of settles up all of the situations that happened in the first one. I've read it already. I'll talk about it more in a wrap-up. I will leave my review of it down below for y'all so y'all can take a look at it if I have a review for it. I need to start writing reviews for it. I also do have... No, I didn't read it in the vlog. I tried to. I really did, but I didn't. Alright. Editing and recovering from illness, food poisoning, and now a very bad bout of pesto because I never learned my lesson. We love pesto. Pesto don't love us. I forgot a book, and that is Falcon of Ikezar by K.S. Veloso. This is the sequel to Wolf of Orenyaro, the Wolf Queen of Orenyaro, and takes place in is like inspired by pre-colonial Philippines. Very political intrigue following a young queen who has to kind of win back the people after she murders her father and her husband leaves her on a coronation night. The sequel, I forgot I had it until I was moving this shelf from the room to the temporary office, and then I saw it and I was like, this is a disrespect, a slander, personal offense done by me to my people. Back to actual trees. The last book is actually a physical arc, my very first physical arc. I'm very happy. This one is Chaos in the Flame. This comes out March 28, 2023, and this is by Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland. I know nothing about this book. I believe it's YA high fantasy. I'm excited to see where it goes. I didn't like Tessa Gratton's like King Lear like reimagining, so I'll see. Hopefully I like her YA stuff more. I've heard really good things about, I think, her like thriller or her gothic horror novel. So I'm excited to see where that goes, but I have my first arc of it, so I might do like a vlog where I revamp my annotating style in the future and I read that book because I got a physical arc, my first physical arc. So exciting stuff. But that is it for my haul. I even tried to speed it up and somehow magically I'm like about to hit over 20 minutes. So if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. If you guys have read these books, let me know in the comments below and we can have a chat. If you haven't, let me know which one you want me to get to first so you can hear more thoughts on it and hear how I liked it. If I didn't like it, will I be unhauling? Will I hate it? Will I light it on fire? Will I put it on a pedestal for everyone to see? I don't know. But until next time, hope you guys are staying safe. I have all of my links to my stuff down below. So if you guys aren't subscribed or liking my videos in a consistent manner, I'll be very sad. But until next time, bye!